Hello, this is Dee Damson, and today we are going to paint a winter scene. We are going to start with the background, but before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you get notifications for my future videos. We are going to do this painting in watercolor, and I'm using a combination of blue with a little bit of black and a lot of water into the color, so it's kind of looks very transparent. And if you did see here how I applied the color, and I wasn't happy how it was not mixing with the water, so I went over with a clean brush and helped that color get a very soft edge. So I'm gonna do section by section, and I will have the traceable for you. It's going to be on my Facebook page, and the link's going to be in the description below, so you can follow that and get the traceable. It's going to be absolutely free for you, and I will continue painting the background, but pretty much it's going to be the same, or almost the same, all the way until we start with the tree in the center. The reason why I'm doing it so very light is because we have a tree covered with snow, so I don't want to have a lot of power into the background. Here I'm mixing the color for the shadow part of the snow. So I did mix a little bit of blue with black, and again we are doing it very transparent, so it's very light, so you can barely see the sketch because I did erase quite a lot, but pretty much we have this elongated areas that are kind of a wiggly line, and that's going to be our snow. So I'm applying that shadow on the bottom part of those elongated sections, and that's going to be the snow resting on top of the branches. So pretty much you're going to be looking at kind of like lines until we make it look more like a tree. So for the greens, I always mix my green with a little bit of yellow or a little bit of blue, and that will create really nice colors. So I'm going to start with a very light version of what I want my green to be. So that's kind of the first coat. So all the lines underneath those darker areas, dark stripes that I created, are kind of pointing to the sides, and they're just lines. I'm not creating branches yet, so I'm going to add a few branches, but not all of them will be branches on that tree. And some of them are shorter and some of them are longer. Most of them are very light, super transparent. So I'm using quite a lot of water. So if you're using a lightweight paper, probably the best thing to do is tape it. I am using light paper, and you're going to see how my paper is going to start warping a little bit because of the amount of water that it's absorbing. But pretty much from here on, I'm just going to add that green sticking from underneath those gray lines, and the left going to the left and the right going towards the right. And from time to time, when I add this really light green, I'm gonna go in and add a little bit of a dot or a line of a darker color. So darker color, not too much water, and the same exact color. So I'm not going to spread it around, I'm just going to drop my brush and lift it, and that's going to leave more color on that area and also create a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. The top of our tree, you see my page is starting to warp, so I'm holding it down. You can always tape it on all four sides with either masking tape or washi tape. I usually don't do that on small paintings because it doesn't bother me. So from this point, you're going to observe layering all the different colors of green. My green is pretty much the light green and the dark green, and I'm mixing them either with yellow or with tiny bit of blue. And everything has a slight angle to the side. And sometimes I add a little bit more darkness to the branches right underneath that snow versus the areas where they're exposed to the light. Now the tip of our tree doesn't have any snow, so you can create few brush strokes that will represent the needles kind of to the side on an angle going upwards. So the reason why I'm going in around the tree with a little bit of darker color is to expose the areas where the snow is covering the branches, because our background is so light on that area that we cannot see where the snow on the top of the branch ends and where the background begins. So I'm kind of exposing it by adding a little bit more darkness to the background just around the tree, not all around the tree, but certain areas. And you're gonna see how it's going to make that white seem wider. And also with the blue, you can add that to your green. It's going to create a little bit more of a shadow, and it's gonna look really, really nice. Also, we want to add a little bit more of a weight to the bottom part of the tree, which will make it seem more grounded and not floating. So I'm adding color, and then with a clean brush, I will just spread it all around to soften that edge. So I'm going with a darker color just a little bit right under the snow again, just to pull those branches out a little bit. It makes them pop a little more. But if you observe, you're going to see how we have stripes of green and white-ish going all the way up to the top, and the bottom one is much wider comparing to the top. just going to touch around and emphasize on certain areas that is seeming to get lost a little bit. This is where I'm adding a little more blue, and my blue is slightly mixed with green, so it's not pure blue. I rarely use pure colors, but you see how that added a lot of weight, and our green popped up, and the background is not taking away from our green. So what I'm adding here is I have this medium that creates sparkles, so I'm just adding a few dots here and there to create a snowfall. And also right on the top of the snow, I'm adding this sparkly medium. I will have it in the description below for you guys to check it and see. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell, and happy painting. Thanks for watching.